What is up, YouTube? It's your boy, Spready Roosevelt, back with another week of NFL and college football picks and previews. But before you do all that, make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to the video. It helps. Leave a comment. Anyways, let's get into the picks. As you know, last week, 10-6 in the NFL. A little down from 12-4, but we still went up money, and you're up money too, and that's all that money is betting us again. Roll Spready. But anyways, the Anytime TD parlay has been a bit of a crapshoot this year, but it's got plus 2,200, plus 2,000 odds. So if you hit it once, you're up big on the year whenever you hit it. If you bet $1 every week for 22 weeks, if you hit it in week 22, you've made your money back. But this week, we're going to try to make the odds about the same as last week, but hopefully we're not as bad as last week. Also, if you're a little mad, feel free to fade it. Feel free to pick what you want, but these are our picks for the Anytime TD parlay this week. Also, feel free to bet them individually. Anyways, Kyle Pitts, CeeDee Lamb, Chase Brown, and Chris Olave plus 2206. $1 wins you $22. 22-1 odds. Let's go. Anyways, let's get into the picks tonight. Thursday night football. Houston, New York Jets. I like Houston plus 110. I know they're a little bit banged up, but the Jets have looked awful this year. Rodgers is washed. They've got Devontae Adams. They have Garrett Wilson. They have a great team on paper, but they're just not a good team. And Houston is just finding ways to win, even with Stephon Diggs out with an ACL this year. I think C.J. Stroud's good enough. I think they lean on the run game with Joe mix in a few runs every now and then, and I believe Houston will get the win tonight. Let's move on to the next game. Atlanta, Dallas. I like Atlanta in this game, and I like the over. Kyle Pitts went off last week. Kirk Cousins is back. He shook off a little bit of whatever's wrong with his legs, and he was on fire last week. Dallas almost came back versus San Fran, but wasn't good enough. Dallas has been off all year. They're not even looking like a playoff team. They're not even looking like they can break their fans' heart in the playoffs. So I guess level 200 IQ, you can't be upset if you have nothing to be upset about. But speaking of upset, see what I did there? Denver plus 350 on Baltimore. They're a good team, but they lose very, very strange games, and this has upset screaming all over it. Denver has been playing way better than they should be this year with a rookie QB, and Sean Payton might have found his mojo again. I like them plus 350. I think this is going to be a close game, but I think Denver's going to pull away at the end. Look for like a 32-25 score. Next game, the Chargers, Cleveland. Absolutely gross. Let's take Cleveland -1 and the over in this game. I'm still iffy on the Browns. I want to see if they can if last week was just an aberration or if it's a trend. The Chargers, I believe the team is looking better. I believe Jim Harbaugh's got the boys together. I'm going to take the Chargers in this one over the Cleveland Browns, even with Jameis Winston. But next game, Cincy, I believe they'll beat the Raiders. The Raiders, they've lost Devontae Adams. They've pretty much given up on this season. They're worried about next year. Let's just take Cincy. Joe Burrow stated this is a must-win game. If there's any team that can just win out and make a run in the playoffs, I believe it's Cincy, and we'll take the over in this game. Next game, the Buffalo Bills and Miami. Even with Miami getting people back from injuries, it's still like Buffalo -6. Buffalo has finally caught fire. All that receiving core has finally come together. Keon Coleman starting to look like the first reason why they drafted him in the first round. Miami they could not beat Arizona last week. Lost by a field goal, but that's a game they should have won. And let's take the over in this game because Buffalo has been pummeling people in the past few weeks. Next game, a lot of gross games this week. New England, Tennessee. New England plus 3. This is literally a toss-up game. Tennessee should not be ever favored by -3 versus anybody, but I like New England to cover, even possibly money line, but let's take them to cover. Another gross game. I think this is a repeat of week 1 where New Orleans just beats the brakes off Carolina. Bryce Young's back, but he still stinks. I think New Orleans covers this with the -7 cover. But let's get next. This one should be a fun one. Washington and the Giants, AFC East matchup. I know people are going to probably be riding the Commanders high in this one, but I think the Giants pull off the upset in this one on Washington at +175. It's hard within the division to beat a team twice in a year, and Washington's still a very young team, and I think the Giants will get up for this game since they lost the first meeting in heartbreaking fashion. Next game, Chicago, Arizona. Let's take Chicago money line. I think Arizona's only being favored because they won and Chicago lost, but I think Chicago bounces back this week. Even as tough it is to say as a Packers fan, I still think they bounce back and they find a way to beat Arizona. Arizona, they're a fun team to watch, but they're not really a great team. They got a lot of pieces there, but I don't think they're ready to make big waves in the NFL yet. I'd say Chicago on the money line. Next game, another gross game. Philly, Jacksonville. Philly just absolutely kicked the crap out of Cincy last week. Let's take Philly -7.5. Yes, the Jaguars almost beat my Packers last week, but Jordan Love went out. I like Philly this week. They've got all their guys back. They got A.J. Brown back. They have Devontae Smith back. They've got the brotherly shove back. Let's take Philly -7.5 this week. Detroit, Green Bay. I'm terrified of this game. The 4:30 America's Game of the Week. I'm just going to take the over in this one. I can never bet against my Packers, so let's just take the over. I think this one's a toss-up. Let's see if Jordan Love comes back from injury this week. I believe in Malik Willis. I just don't know how much you can just lean on a predominantly running quarterback. Maybe they get him to air it out, but maybe Jordan Love starts. It's going to have to monitor that till Sunday. Next one, Seattle and the Rams. I feel like an idiot because they got Seattle as the underdog in this game. I really like Seattle in this game. I don't think the Rams are that good this year. I don't know why the Seattle's the money line, so I'm a little worried about that. But let's take Seattle money line +100. Next game, Indy. Let's take them to cover 5.5 on some Joe Flacco magic versus Minnesota. Minnesota's been good this year, but I think Indy turns it around. They've got good skilled position players there, but I think they'll get it done. I think they cover. I don't think they win. I just think they cover, and I think Minnesota wins, but I think Indy keeps it close, possibly lose by a field goal. Kansas City, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, their defense is awful. Their offense is still good without Evans and without Godwin, but I think this is the game where Kansas City wakes up, and I think they pour it on Tampa Bay, and they cover by 8.5. It seems like a lot of points, but I'm taking Kansas City to cover by 8.5 because Patrick Mahomes is going to see that Tampa Bay defense and put points on them like Kansas Mahomes steak. What can I say, boys? The Oracle of Omaha is here every week. We have been above 500 for all but maybe 2 weeks this year so far, so we are on a roll, baby. This is the #1 gambling podcast on YouTube. Who else is getting you these results? Everyone else can give you write-ups. I give you vibes. I give you dubs. I am the god of gambling. You will worship me. Anyways, like and subscribe to the video, and we'll get into the college football picks right away. All right, college football, baby, this week. Anyways, let's get into the picks this week. A lot of games this week that I'm not too sure about. Not a lot of marquee games, but we've got Ohio State and Penn State this week, so that should be a good one. We have Oregon, Michigan, but Oregon will probably run away with that one. But let's get into the picks this week. Anyways, Boise's tomorrow night, Boise State. Let's take a -23 versus San Diego State. Boise State's been good this year. Army, Air Force. Let's take the over 41.5. Duke. I think they cover versus Miami. I think Miami wins, but I think Duke is a good enough team to not lose by more than 20.5 points. That's way too many points. Next game, Illinois, Minnesota. Illinois, -2.5. Illinois is good. Minnesota's kind of bad. It's kind of not that good this year. Ole Miss, Arkansas. Ole Miss has been a crapshoot to bet, but they will redeem themselves. -7.5 versus Arkansas. This one scares me, but let's take Penn State plus 135 in the over versus Ohio State. 45 and a half. I think Penn State gets it done. Ohio State, I believe, they struggled in the Oregon game. They almost won, but I think Penn State finds a way to exploit them. Also, Boise State, San Diego State over 51 in that game too. Virginia Tech, Cuse. Let's take Virginia Tech -4. Cuse has been Cuse, and Virginia Tech's a better team than their record shows. Next one, upset alert. Upset of the week alert. Upset of the week alert. Vandy plus 250. Let's ride with the Condors over Auburn. Let's ride the wave, baby. And then let's take Kansas State -13 against Houston and the over a 45 and a half. Georgia, they're going to beat the brakes off the Gators, -15. Indiana, they're a really good team this year. Let's take a -7.5 versus Michigan State. Like I said, Oregon -14.5, beat the brakes off Michigan and the over a 44.5. Next one, Nebraska, UCLA. Let's take Nebraska -6.5. The Fighting Will Comptons. Next, let's take UNC -2.5. I do not know why FSU is this bad, but I think UNC wins. I'm just going to stop thinking that FSU is going to turn it around. Next game, Pitt. I like them to cover. I like them to actually win money line this game versus SMU. There's something I don't trust about SMU, and Pittsburgh has just been pulling off win after win. Let's take them plus 225. It was almost the upset of the week. And then we'll take I almost thought about taking Kentucky money line, but let's just take them to cover versus Tennessee plus 17.5. And for the parlay of the week, the upset specials of the week, let's just do a 3-teamer and try to get a dub. Penn State, Vandy, and Pitt. Not sure how much I will put it in the text afterwards about the odds on that one, but let's get a dub this week, baby. Last week, 10-9. Still making baby steps, but you're game over 500. That means you did not lose money, baby. You're not floating in the bottom of the river. You're not under Giant Stadium with Jimmy Hoffa, baby. You're sitting here with Spready in a tub chilling on dubs. But anyways, like I said, Oracle of Omaha, hurry, and like and subscribe to these videos if you want more of this amazing content. Anyways, that's been Spready Roosevelt. Peace.